A hotel evacuated to stop the spread of a mutant strain of the virus, while Luna Park faces a major fine for breaching the COVID rules.
As Australia backed the wrong vaccine, calls to pause the homemade AstraZeneca rollout.
Also tonight, second arrest in the baffling murder of a Coogee grandfather.
Trump hits Texas, warning kicking him out will spark fresh violence. An impeachment vote now hours away.
A carjacking gang hits the inner west, a driver tasered and bashed.
Coon cheese rebranded after 85 years, but not everyone's cheering.
And Justin Langer lashes out at cricket greats as he defends Steve Smith.
Live from Sydney, 7 News with Michael Usher and Angela Cox.
Good evening. It's been called a national concern. The major operation underway tonight, evacuating a Brisbane hotel as a cluster of the mutant UK strain of coronavirus spreads.
With only one new infection in New South Wales, the outlook here is promising. But a warning, our current outbreak could take weeks to clean up.
Unrelenting, the Premier's daily update on COVID. Not the virus, just constantly talking about it.
Can I just take 1 second? Too much talking.
Better news today, though. Just one new community case, a child of a known patient from the Barella cluster, and the COVID couple connected to the Mount Druitt Hospital on the weekend, also now linked to Barella by lab tests.
We have to yet determine the crossover point or the source of the infection.
Despite the work of tracers, something still being missed.
I'm very concerned that we might have chains of transmission which are unrecognised.
Meaning the outbreak will take time to mop up.
3, maybe 4 weeks.
The public is doing its bit. Testing numbers are now back above the 20,000 mark, just.
That was a nice jump from the 14,000 we'd reported yesterday.
So far, the results have been very good in Sydney. They've kept it under control.
A barber shop in Warriewood, placed on the alert list, keeps the northern beaches under watch. But it's Queensland in sharp focus.
What we are dealing with here is something that we've never had to deal with before.
From one Brisbane hotel, the Grand Chancellor, 6 cases of the highly infectious UK variant, all on the 7th floor, spreading somehow from one return traveller.
And we're struggling to find out how it's got out of that room.
The hotel being evacuated, guests relocated and forced to restart their quarantine.
It's very, very frustrating.
Sarah Cowley and her 1-year-old daughter were due out on Friday.
I feel like being at home would be the most safe option rather than, in a hotel where everyone's getting the disease.
Also tested and isolated staff and hundreds of former guests.
There's so many people going through so much worse, so I can't complain.
Urgent containment.
It is of national concern.
It's enough for Queensland to now seek talks with other states about the entire hotel quarantine system, often a weak point in the fight against COVID. But here in New South Wales, the Premier says it's played a vital role in protecting us all.
Welcoming this week's halving of return traveller numbers, but not supporting a complete stop.
It would be, I think, a terrible blow if we stopped any Australians coming back home.
We've got good systems in place. Sometimes there will be chinks in the armour.
All of those processes are being looked at and will be looked at and see what else we can do.
And a warning we're slipping with using our QR codes, particularly getting our takeaway food.
Don't wait to be asked to use it. Step up and use it.
And with masks now mandatory in many settings, some tips from health workers on how to best wear them.
Everyone's got a slightly different face. So if one sort of mask isn't working with you, do try other sorts of masks.
Of course, they'll be needed for a while yet.
And news just in, New South Wales health officials are now appealing for anyone who may have been at Brisbane's Grand Chancellor Hotel from the 30th of December to contact them and enter 14-day quarantine. Now, this applies to anyone from New South Wales who may have been at the hotel at that time, anyone from interstate who was there who has since entered New South Wales, and from police today. They've issued a penalty infringement notice to Sydney's popular Luna Park. Now, the amusement park has been fined $5,000 for alleged public health breaches on New Year's Eve when a large crowd gathered there for the fireworks display at $99 a head. Now, after viewing phone footage of the event, police have acted this afternoon, issuing the fines. Angela, Michael.
Chris Marr, thank you. Health chiefs are reassuring the public Australia's vaccine strategy will be effective and we haven't backed the wrong jab. They were put on the defensive after a group of doctors raised concerns about the success rate of the AstraZeneca shot compared to others being rolled out around the world.
Held as a beacon of hope, but leaving medical experts divided.
If they keep pushing the AstraZeneca vaccine, they may not achieve herd immunity.
Some calling to pause next month's planned rollout and pivot to more effective vaccines or risk rolling pandemics.
There's going to be an even bigger blowback from the community if that happens. It will be swift, it will be sharp and it will be merciless.
Late-stage trials show the AstraZeneca vaccine is 62% effective after 2 full doses, up to 90% for patients given a half dose, then a full dose booster. But the Moderna and Pfizer vaccines up to 95% effective. Yet Australia secured more doses of AstraZeneca's than any other.
It is very effective against severe illness. It will save lives.
The nation's chief medical officer fiercely defending the government's strategy to lock in nearly 54 million doses of AstraZeneca's, 51 million from Novavax and 10 million from Pfizer.
It's not whether one is better than the other. What do we have available? We have the AstraZeneca available for the whole country.
We do seem to have put too many eggs in one basket.
AstraZeneca's is the only vaccine being manufactured here in Australia, and if approved by the regulator will be the quickest way to immunise as many Australians as possible, with the limited Pfizer doses to be set aside for the most vulnerable. 25 million doses of other vaccines could be purchased through the COVAX agreement as negotiations continue with a dozen other companies.
So we'll take the best possible advice, as we've done all the way through.
Confident Australians won't miss out. Olivia Leeming, 7 News.
Let's go to some breaking news. There's an unfolding emergency in Surrey Hills this evening. Heavily armed police have responded to reports of a home invasion. Our reporter Evan Batten is there. Evan, good evening. Police have made a number of arrests.
Oh, good evening, Michael. Yeah, certainly is a very tense situation here. We're on Nixon Road in Surrey Hills. This is Cartmore Lane just behind me. The police have actually said to us not to go any further towards Cartmore Lane because that would be in the direct line of fire. What we know is that at 4 o'clock this afternoon there was a home invasion at a property on Crown Street which backs onto Cartmore Lane here. Now, the area in a very short period of time was swarming with riot police and local general duties officers. Fortunately, they were able to make a number of arrests. There are now 3 people in custody who were allegedly involved in this home invasion. Fortunately, we're told no one has been injured. However, there is a 4th person who is still unaccounted for, and police are concerned that they may well be armed with a gun and still holed up inside this property here in Surrey Hills. We can see a fair bit of activity just up the street here. We believe tactical police may well have arrived. It's an evolving situation, certainly quite dangerous, and police are urging anyone who doesn't need to be in this area to steer well clear. Michael?
All right, Evan Batten reporting there from Surrey Hills. Thank you for that. There's been a second arrest in connection to the bashing murder of South Coogee grandfather Peter McCarthy. The Summer Hill man allegedly used the 77-year-old stolen credit cards in the days after his death.
Not guilty, didn't do a thing, leave me alone.
Did you have his credit card, sir?
No.
The 44-year-old isn't the accused killer, but he is facing a number of fraud offences. Mr McCarthy's neighbour, Narelle Smith, was charged with murder earlier this week.
A carjacking gang is on the run in the inner west after attacking a driver with a taser and a knife. He'd been waiting in his luxury BMW for a pre-arranged meeting when he was dragged from the car.
Robbed of his luxury four-wheel drive, this man was left stranded and injured.
It seemed to be very, very brazen and planned.
The 35-year-old was sitting in his white BMW X5 when 5 men ripped open the driver's side door just after 10 last night.
One of them produced a taser, another one produced a knife. He was tased in the shoulder. He was then forced from the vehicle where a quantity of money was taken from him.
The gang took off in the car. They haven't been seen since.
Very scary. I've never heard of something like that going on in roads.
The man was the second target of the night. Moments before he was ambushed, the same group tried to carjack a 24-year-old woman in an identical car in the same street.
She was trembling last night, so she really got scared.
Her doors were locked and the suspects moved on.
The five guy that just went to another guy who was in the car and break in that car and punch his face.
The victim claims he'd been waiting here in his car for a prearranged business deal before he was attacked. Detectives aren't sure if the suspects were meant to be part of that deal or if they were just passing by and saw an opportunity.
I believe it was a currency transfer, one sort of currency into another.
A deal that cost him greatly. Natasha Squarey, 7 News.
16 witnesses will be called to give evidence against NRL star Dylan Walker, who's accused of assaulting staff at a Northern Beaches pizza shop. The 26-year-old Manly centre has pleaded not guilty over the incident at the Narrowena restaurant in November last year. 3 witnesses are set to testify in his defence. A 2-day hearing will begin next Wednesday.
Donald Trump is refusing to shoulder blame for last week's mob attack on the US Capitol. Instead, he's warned efforts to dump him could stir new violence. On tour in Texas, the president spoke for the first time since the anarchy as the House prepares for an impeachment vote in the coming hours.
Donald Trump on the brink of an historic vote in Congress.
It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Set to make him the first ever US president impeached twice.
The impeachment is really a continuation of the greatest witch hunt in the history of politics. I think it's causing tremendous danger to our country and it's causing tremendous anger.
This his first appearance since the speech
I'm going to walk down and I'll be there with you.
That ignited the deadly Capitol Hill riot.
What I said was totally appropriate.
In Texas to sign and talk up his border wall, not a hint of regret or responsibility for the attack on Congress.
We believe in the rule of law, not in violence or rioting.
And brushing off the amendment that might have been used to sack him.
The 25th Amendment is of zero risk to me, but will come back to haunt Joe Biden and the Biden administration. As the expression goes, be careful what you wish for.
His Vice President Mike Pence then ruled it out, saying, "I will not play political games at a time so serious in the life of our nation." So impeachment moves ahead.
Donald Trump should not hold office one day longer.
At least 3 members of the president's own party now say they'll vote with the Democrats.
Free speech is under assault like never before.
Before the president returned to Washington and his enforced social media silence. And so once again, the White House is tonight heavily fortified ahead of Joe Biden's arrival here next week. The threat's not over here in the nation's capital. Police are bracing for more trouble. And today, the FBI had this warning to those who stormed the Capitol.
Agents from our local field offices will be knocking on your door.
The FBI describing a giant investigation.
In 6 days, we have opened over 160 case files, and that's just the tip of the iceberg.
The Bureau says the day before the attack, it had intelligence a war was coming to the Capitol and warned police. Now warning of chilling new threats, private chat rooms and plans for future attacks as Washington braces for a volatile handover. In Washington, D.C., Ashley Mullaney, 7 News.
A bus driver has been taken to hospital with leg injuries after colliding with a truck on Lane Cove Road in Ryde early this morning. There were no passengers on board the bus at the time. The truck driver escaped unharmed. Police are investigating if one of the vehicles may have run a red light.
Another of Australia's best-loved brands has bitten the dust, the latest in a growing list of names deemed politically incorrect. Coon cheese, named for its American creator, will now be known as Cheer cheese, a move the company says it had to make.
It's a fromage fury that's forced a total name change for a big brand almost a century old.
All around Australia, people love that great coon taste.
The taste may be, but the name is now on the nose and will be no longer after a campaign to rid our shelves of the label deemed too much like a racial slur.
I saw it as an insult to people of colour, particularly First Nations people.
It was actually named after American cheesemaker Edward Coon.
It was important for us to understand that that name did not please other consumers.
The makers ran focus groups for 6 months to come up with a new name, Cheer.
They told us they wanted a name
that reflected those everyday moments when enjoying our cheese.
Coon is just the latest corporate rethink. Other names gone for good include Redskins and Chico's, while in the US there's Aunt Jemima, Uncle Ben's, Eskimo Pies, Dixie Beer. As the list grows, experts say the change is a huge risk for the company, dumping such a well-established brand. But it had little choice.
You remember the company is a multinational company, so they're going to cop flack for this name all around the world. So it's not just the brand of Coon Cheese itself, it's all their brands globally.
So sensitive is the name-changing process that they are certainly not rushing it. Coon will only disappear from our shelves and become Cheer in 6 months' time. Evan Batten, 7 News.
Dozens of Target stores across the country will close their doors in the coming weeks, reopening under the Kmart brand. Major shopping centres across Sydney and the Blue Mountains will be affected. Some of the impacted stores include Bondi Junction, Warringah Mall, Rhodes, Katoomba and Windsor. Winmalee, Miranda, Macquarie Centre, Picton and Liverpool venues will also be converted. It comes after the brand's owners Wesfarmers announced a restructure to make Target more viable.
Steve Smith says he's shocked and disappointed by suggestions he cheated during the SCG test against India. Australian coach Justin Langer came out swinging today, describing the claims as ludicrous and savaging two greats of the game over their comments.
Before heading to the Gabba to prepare for the series decider, Justin Langer went into bat for Steve Smith.
I literally cannot believe some of the rubbish I read about Steve Smith. Anyone who suggests for 1 millisecond he was trying to do something untoward, they're way out of line.
Smith says he's hardly slept since being accused of trying to remove Rishabh Pant's guard marks during the SCG test. I've been quite shocked and disappointed by the reaction. It's something I do in games to visualise where we are bowling, how the batter is playing our bowlers, and then out of habit, I always mark centre.
He does it to help me as well. He's looking about where I should look to pitch the ball.
I've seen Steve Smith as a teammate the last 10 years do this a million times, along with a lot of other cricketers.
Batsmen do what's known as taking guard when they arrive at the crease. That's putting marks on the pitch to know where the stumps are. Smith's actions described as very, very poor by ex-England captain Michael Vaughan. Former teammate Darren Goff went even further.
He's rubbing out the markers the batsman had put on to where he puts his bat. So it's plain cheating in my book.
Seriously, I thought that was absolutely ludicrous.
And Cricket Australia has defended the decision to publicly apologise to India before their probe into alleged racial taunts from fans is finalised.
Have you offered an apology to the Indian team and specifically to Mohammad Siraj?
Absolutely, we apologise.
Why?
No one should be able to feel like that within the sporting environment.
New South Wales Police have closed their investigation. Matt Shervington, 7 News.
Well, no, Angie Asimus is here with the forecast. Angie, good evening to you. Sydney really turned it on again today.
Michael, there was barely a cloud in the sky for most of the day. This pattern has led to another very warm 24-hour period. The city's low was 20.9 degrees. From there, we ended up with a top of 29.8. But again, it was places with no sea breeze that really sweltered. Broken Hill hit 41 degrees today. 40 was the top at Griffith, 39 for us at Wagga Wagga, and a very high fire danger remains in place for the rest of the evening in those southern Riverina districts. Temperatures have now peaked in those regional centres, but not for Sydney. Tomorrow is when we will see tops in the high 30s across some of our suburbs. Today wasn't a bad warm-up, though right now it is still 30 degrees at Penrith, 27 degrees in the CBD. I'll have a detailed look at that burst of heat headed our way soon.
OK, thanks, Angie. Should they be rounded up or let roam free? Next, stunning new pictures of our Brumby population, the Kosciuszko controversy, just how many are left? That's next.
Plus the blazing truck that caused morning chaos in the northern beaches.
Closed for months, now Disneyland is about to be repurposed. Its new theme is ahead.
Australia Day plans revealed for Sydney, the one surprising location refusing to stop the party.
And happy homecoming, one of the NRL's good guys, back where it all began.
Get away from the wall!
911, what is your emergency?
The dam broke.
Help! 911, The Mudslide. New in 2021 on 7.
The story of Australia
is the story of me.
It's the story of you.
It's a story of we.
In parts, it is painful.
In parts, it is raw.
In others, it's beautiful.
Inspiring, great awe.
It tells of many people from far and away.
And those who've been here
since the beginning of time.
It brings us together
and tears us apart.
We all have our views.
So where do we start?
By listening to each other.
And sharing our part.
We're all part of the story. Australia Day.
The Nick Scali January sale is on now. Save up to 50% off a huge range of quality furniture. Up to 50% off. The Nick Scali January sale on now.
Milk made from whole almonds, blended with Robusta and Arabica beans. For a deliciously smooth coffee kick, try Vitasoy Whole Iced Coffee. It tastes as good as it sounds.
Hey, you there. Powerball has jackpotted to $8 million. Get moving. Grab your ticket now.
Play now in-store at thelot.com or on the Lot app.
New mini hotcakes with Nutella have arrived at Macca's. Our famous hotcakes made mini with a delicious layer of creamy Nutella. Wherever summer takes you, we'll be here.
Harvey Norman's Summer Sizzlers. Enjoy summer at home and get a sleek new look with the Gwyn 7-piece dining suite. Huge value at just $999. Plus, get 60 months interest free with a bonus gift card. Now at Harvey Norman.
Invest with Latrobe Financial, Australia's multi-award winning wealth manager, returning a current variable rate of 4.35% per annum reviewed monthly on a 12-month investment. Make your money work harder for you. Call 138010.
Welcome back. There were major delays getting in and out of the northern beaches this morning after a truck caught fire, forcing the closure of Monavale Road at Ingleside. The flames were quickly extinguished, but not before peak hour traffic had banked up. The driver wasn't injured. The cause of the fire is still being investigated.
Well, it's divided communities for generations now. A new survey has found there are too many brumbies roaming wild in the Kosciuszko National Park. Critics argue the wild horses destroy vegetation and kill endangered animals. But supporters say culling them would destroy centuries of our heritage.
They're the stuff of legend, a part of Australian folklore for generations.
An animal in full flight, free to the world, is something that is inspiring to humans and something a lot of us wish for.
Drought and bushfires have seen brumby numbers in the high country fall by more than a quarter over the past year. But the latest aerial survey has found there are still 14,000 living in the Kosciuszko National Park, with claims they're damaging the fragile alpine ecosystem, threatening native plants and animals.
There's over 30 species that are at risk of extinction. They're just being destroyed, so the park is just being turned into a horse paddock.
The National Parks and Wildlife Service has been calling for action for years. Now, the state government's agreed something has to be done.
There will always be horses in the Kosciuszko National Park. It's just a question of where they are and how many there are. We want to get the balance right.
The government says it'll now use the results of the survey to come up with a plan to significantly reduce the number of horses in the park. That'll include trapping and rehoming, as well as culling.
Removing just a few hundred of horses each year is not going to cut it. We need to get thousands of horses out of that park as quickly and humanely as possible.
But it won't be quick, likely to take years, and it won't be popular either.
The Snowy Mountains Brumby is iconic, part of our cultural heritage and needs to be preserved.
Rob Scott, 7 News.
To some breaking news out of the US, where the federal government has just put a woman to death for the first time in almost 70 years. Lisa Montgomery was executed over a 2004 murder where she killed a pregnant woman and claimed the unborn child as her own. A flurry of last-minute court orders wasn't enough to save the death row prisoner. The 52-year-old died by lethal injection. The Trump administration resumed federal executions last year.
Well, divers have now recovered the flight data recorder from that crashed Indonesian plane, celebrating their find before handing it over to the investigators. 62 people died when the budget airliner went down just 4 minutes after takeoff. It's likely to take up to 5 days to download the contents of the black box and hopefully find a cause.
The so-called happiest place on earth is about to be transformed into a mass vaccination site. As of this week, Disneyland will become what's being called a super pod. It's sprawling car park used to administer thousands of COVID vaccines every day. The theme park, which has been closed since mid-March, will be one of 5 super sites. Dodger Stadium will also be used as California steps up its attack on the virus.
The council controlling one of the country's worst COVID hotspots is not only hosting a major Australia Day celebration, it's attacking other councils which have cancelled. Today we learned the harbour will shut early to celebrate January 26 like never before.
From the Opera House, a new call for celebration. For we are one and free. But rejoicing this Australia Day will be heavily restricted. Classic events are out and the foreshore will shut early.
Circular Quay will be closed from 5 p.m. And a full closure by 6 p.m.
The day starts with a morning ceremony at Barangaroo. At 12 there'll be a 21-gun salute and a military flypast at 2. There's an Opera House citizenship ceremony. Then at 7:30 the Australia Day live concert with music and fireworks. But it will be nothing like last year. The audience is banned because of COVID.
This is very much a virtual concert.
While Australia Day events will be very low-key around the harbour, they'll be even quieter for the rest of Sydney. Most councils have cancelled all events except for citizenship ceremonies, and many of them are online. Parramatta, Liverpool, Georges River, Inner West and North Sydney councils will have no Australia Day events. Blacktown has cancelled its fireworks but will have smaller celebrations. Ryde Council will stage a Battle of the Bands concert. Canterbury Bankstown will run a mobile Aussie rock truck and a parachute display, while Cumberland Council will have big celebrations, including fireworks, food and live music. That's despite Cumberland taking in the Baralla COVID hotspot, the mayor attacking councils which have cancelled.
I believe some are a bunch of bedwetters and others do have a hidden agenda.
Tom Saker, 7 News.
An Australian is tonight branded as the mastermind of an underworld market next. The 32-year-old arrested in a global sting, 500,000 customers, what police say he was selling. That's next.
Unions accuse Qantas of misusing JobKeeper payments. The airline responds as the case heads to court.
The project approved to rise up at Crow's Nest, what's going over the incoming train station.
And the new Sydney family, 100 kids and headed for a flashy new home. That's next.
7 News brought to you by Officeworks.
School shop's done.
With low prices and great savings, get ready for the best back to school ever at Officeworks.
It all comes down to this.
It's locked in an absolute battle.
Winner takes all. As our Aussies must win to wrap up the series.
Cannot turn away from Test match cricket.
And our superstars are ready to prove we're back to the world's best.
The Smith run machine is back.
But India won't be backing down. Then,
unbelievable!
The best is still to come in the Big Bash. When Melbourne clash with Adelaide.
As good as you'll see.
The final test and the Big Bash, Friday on 7.
The art of the light lunch. Step 1. Open Hans lunch plate with crackers, relish, cheese and delicious meat. Step 2. Eat it? A simple yet lavish light lunch. Hans.
It's actually Hans.
When you need money for the unexpected, time can seem against you. Nimble makes finance faster. Get a Nimble small cash loan up to $5,000 within 60 minutes once confirmed. Visit nimble.com.au.
This summer, give breakfast a healthy twist with fresh ideas from Woolworths, like overnight summer oats and fresh stone fruit with macro organic rolled oats 500 grams, dropped to just $2.75. For more fresh ideas, visit woolworths.com.au.
The Saucy McRib and legendary El Maco are back at Macca's. Delicious pork dripping in smoky barbecue rib sauce and juicy beef with chunky Mexican salsa. Wherever summer takes you, we'll be here.
Don't run out of data this summer with Vodafone's $30 prepaid plus plan. Get a huge 40 gigabytes total data on your first 3 recharges, then infinite data to browse at speeds of up to 1.5 megabits per second until your recharge expires. You rule with Vodafone.
Lily's been baking awarded apple pies for years. Just don't put her in charge of marketing. It's amazing what you can't do. Task smarter.
Airtasker.
Dive in, break free and get amongst it in the 7-seat Isuzu MUX from just $46,990 drive away. Plus get a free 3-tonne towing pack across the 4x4 range.
At Bet365, we're always innovating, creative. It's this constant pursuit of perfection that brought you Bet Builder, Match Live, alerts, and live streaming. It's the reason we're the world's favorite online betting company.
Gamble responsibly.
Welcome back. An Australian man is in custody in Germany accused of running the world's biggest illegal online marketplace. The website supplying drugs and stolen data was shut down, ending a months-long international operation.
German police call him Julian Kay, a 34-year-old Australian accused of being the mastermind behind a sinister site described as eBay for criminals.
It's sometimes shocking how similar the criminal economy is with the legal economies.
Dark Market had almost 500,000 global customers, more than 2,500 sellers, trading drugs along with counterfeit cash, stolen credit card details and hacking tools with a turnover of 220 million Australian dollars. More than 20 computer servers in Moldova and Ukraine were seized as the site was shut down.
This particular operation was supported by Europol. Australia, the Australian Federal Police played a huge part.
Julian Kay, originally from Queensland, was picked up by officers trying to cross the border from Denmark. He appeared before a judge but said nothing.
The people with the skills to set these sorts of services up are in quite high demand, not for these sorts of illicit services, but it's the same skills needed for running the next competitor to Facebook.
German prosecutors will need to prove the Australian knew he was helping criminals by hosting the site on the dark web. Authorities there say he'll be moved to a prison in coming days. In London, Sarah Greenhalgh, 7 News.
Unions are taking Qantas to the High Court over claims the airline misused JobKeeper and underpaid workers during the pandemic. They're accusing Qantas of manipulating rosters and withholding millions of dollars in overtime.
What this means for individual workers is that they've lost $10,000 or $12,000 each.
Qantas says a court has already ruled it's using JobKeeper correctly. Job vacancies are on the rise. More workers wanted as the economy continues its recovery. There were 254,000 available jobs in November, up by 23% over that quarter. It's pushed the job vacancy rate higher than pre-COVID levels back in February. The industries with the largest number of vacancies were in the arts and recreation, accommodation and food and retail, all of which took a severe hit during the pandemic restrictions.
Well, there's new hope for an endangered species, Sydney's Sea Life Aquarium, celebrating the birth of 100 baby seahorses. The youngsters will soon be released into Sydney Harbour, where they'll face a battle for survival, but with a little bit of extra help.
The miracle of birth, even more remarkable because it's Dad going through labour. The female seahorse lays her egg in the male's pouch, and after a gestation period of about 45 days, they are ready to enter the world and fend for themselves.
We're really excited to say that we have over 100 new seahorse babies.
The white seahorse used to be common around Sydney, but loss of habitat means it's now endangered.
They hold on to their habitat with their tails, and that habitat is things like kelp and seagrasses as well. So a lot of that is actually in decline.
3 other males are ready to give birth, the latest batch of babies in a groundbreaking breeding program.
To be able to release them, we tag them so we can follow their progress, and aquaria and ecologists all over the world are really following this project to see how well it works.
In around 6 months, the baby seahorses will be released into Sydney Harbour so they can settle into their new underwater home in specially built seahorse hotels.
Metal cages now covered in sponges and corals, the perfect habitat for these little battlers.
Our long-term goal is to get them off that endangered listing.
New hope a struggling species can be brought back from the brink. Amber Laidler, 7 News.
The construction company responsible for building the defective Opal Tower has been chosen to redevelop the historic North Sydney Olympic Pool. The company Icon will upgrade the indoor and outdoor pools and build a new grandstand. Icon has paid out millions in damages over the Opal Tower, but says it's well placed to take on the North Sydney job, with construction to begin in March. Meantime, high-rises are set to be built above the planned Crow's Nest train station after the development was given the green light. The tallest tower was originally meant to be 27 stories but has been scaled back to 21 due to community opposition.
Well, this is one of the strangest stories. An American racing pigeon has turned up in a suburban Aussie backyard more than 15,000 kilometres from its home.
I crushed up some biscuits, gave it some dry biscuits, and then we went about our way. And the next day, he was back.
A leg band check revealed the bird was racing last year in Alabama in the United States and went way off course. Experts suspect it might have hitched a ride on a ship.
Flying cars, a germ-free fridge, the latest tech for 2021 is on show. There's even a robot butler for the house. A look inside the world's best new innovations is next.
Plus, treading water for 3 exhausting hours, what this diver says kept her alive at sea.
Making sure you never miss out. The new service for shoppers after a year of panic buying.
In sport, Justin Langer comes out swinging, defending his under fire stars.
And it was a warm one today, but temperatures still have a way to go in our west. Your scorching Thursday forecast is coming up.
He's played Tiger Woods in the Australian Masters.
Would have topped this moment? No, not even close.
The greatest championship course on the planet.
Holy moly! Extreme family fun is here in 2021. The art of the light lunch. Step 1. Open Hans lunch plate with crackers, relish, cheese and delicious meat. Step 2. Eat it? A simple yet lavish light lunch. Hans.
It's actually Hans.
Say hello to weight loss success with Jenny Craig.
Now it's even easier to reach your weight loss goals with Jenny Craig.
Start today with our free 8-week membership plus free delivery. Cost of food additional.
So call Jenny Craig now.
Audible is excellent for unwinding in bed with a cuppa.
It doesn't smell like a cup of tea.
Well, it's not tea. It's hard tea. What are you, the tea police?
Download the Audible app and start listening today.
Still right to drop them off?
Where were you thinking?
How about Macca's again?
Wait.
Man, that was so hectic.
Sorry.
At Coles, you can lower the cost of your Aussie barbecues with delicious 100% Aussie Coles beef quick cook porterhouse steaks or Coles brand beef and thyme burgers. Any 2 packs for just $12. Coles, value the Australian way.
The Nick Scali January sale is on now. Our biggest sale of the year with savings across a huge range of quality furniture. The Nick Scali January sale on now.
I love to be as efficient as possible in life and health. That's why I choose Ferrograd C, Australia's #1 selling therapeutic oral iron supplement with added vitamin C to aid iron absorption. So be iron efficient. Choose Ferrograd C.
Introducing Light and Easy's new Jumpstart Plus. Jumpstart Plus combines the proven weight loss results of intermittent eating with Light and Easy's delicious summer menu, plus a new app to track your success and help you achieve your goals.
I was really surprised with the results that I got with Light and Easy, and they do come quickly.
Every week I've consistently lost weight, and the new Jumpstart program really kick-started that for me.
Fast track your weight loss success in 2021 with Light and Easy's new Jumpstart Plus. Jump online today.
Returning to our breaking news now, and heavily armed police have a house surrounded in Surrey Hills. Let's go straight to our reporter, Evan Batten. Evan, what's happening there now?
Yeah, Michael, you'd certainly have to say this situation is fast becoming more serious, not less. You might be able to hear behind me down this lane, Cartmore Lane in Surrey Hills, that has all the terraces that back onto Crown Street. Police negotiators have gone in there with a unit of heavily armed tactical operations unit police. They're wearing helmets, they're armed with long arms and carrying shields as well. There are paramedics have gone in as well as the negotiators. They are urging anyone who is inside number 662 Crown Street to come down the stairs with their hands up, not carrying any weapons. So by the sounds of it, they're not entirely sure if there is that fourth person still inside the townhouse, but they are certainly doing everything they can to bring this to a peaceful resolution as quickly as possible. Michael?
Certainly a big police presence. Evan Batten there in Surrey Hills. Thank you.
Checking the markets now, the ASX 200 closed 7 points higher today. Energy stocks were among the top performers. Myer and Harvey Norman end the day in the green too. On the currency market, $1 Australian dollar is buying about 77 US cents. Fuel prices across Sydney are now on the rise again. The average price is $1.15, but we found regular unleaded as cheap as 92 cents a litre in Fairfield.
An experienced diver who was forced to tread water for an incredible 3 hours has spoken of her desperate fight to stay alive. The 45-year-old told 7 News she clung to a torch and thought of her children after she was swept out to sea. That was off South Australia.
I was spraying the torch not to die. It was scary. It was really scary. I've gone through all motions.
She says she will dive again, but it may take her a while to get back in the water.
From air purifying masks to flying cars, the world's best tech offerings are on display at this year's Consumer Electronics Show. The highly anticipated exhibition, not immune to the pandemic, forced to go virtual for the first time.
Since its launch in 1967, the Consumer Electronics Show has had many homes, and this year, thanks to COVID-19, a new one, virtual. The pandemic's also made its mark on new product designs.
We're seeing, technology kind of embrace that and try to help improve our hygiene and our health.
These LG masks have built-in air purifiers, and this Samsung vacuum uses artificial intelligence to scope out the best cleaning path. You'll be able to tap your future fridge, which has UV lights to kill bacteria, to see what's inside and cook meals alongside a virtual chef. Lenovo smart glasses will show up to 5 virtual displays around you, while Tunable can save you a trip to the optometrist. Just turn a dial to adjust your focus. And speaking of vision, TVs have come a long way from the 1960s best-in-show models.
The way the TV is lit is improved with these new mini LEDs, which are like tiny little light bulbs at the back of the screen.
Some of these innovations are set to hit North America within months and Australia shortly after. But other designs unveiled remain, for now at least, aspirational fantasies.
Like General Motors' vertical takeoff and landing drone or flying car.
We are preparing for a world where advances in electric and autonomous technology make personal air travel possible.
It's more about how can we do it safely, how can cars that are in the air communicate with each other.
And LG's fleeting hint at how the world's first rollable phone may look. Gemma Acton, 7 News.
We all saw those crazy scenes last year. Aisles stripped bare, basics running short. The shops have settled, but there's now a new service ensuring customers never miss out again. So how does it work? Don't miss that story soon on 7 News.
But now let's go to Matt Shervington, who's here with Sport. Shervo, good evening to you. Justin Langer, I tell you what, he did not mince his words today.
Oh, he was on the warpath, Michael, and the Australian coach went into bat for 2 of his biggest stars today. We'll hear from Langer next. Plus, Panthers discard Josh Mansour has found a new home and he couldn't be happier. And what has Aussie NBA star Ben Simmons done to get his 76ers into hot water?
had a dream that someday I would just fly, fly away.
Beautiful day.
Just something for you to think about.
Escape into a new year with Home and Away. Starts Feb 1 on 7.
Okay, give it a try.
Between wisdom and curiosity, there's a bridge. Between ideas and inspiration, trauma and treatment.
I've gained a couple of more kilos.
Yeah, that's good for the baby.
Between the moments that make us who we are and keeping them safe, private and secure, there's WebEx.
Head 'em up for the brand new series Walker, only on Stan.
Texas Rangers are supposed to be the ones that weed out the bad seeds. How do you think we've been doing?
Pedal to the floor, driving through hell. Give me more eye for an eye, killer to kill. This is war.
Here he comes to save the day.
It's good to see you too.
Supernatural's Jared Padalecki delivers justice.
You are under arrest.
The brand new series Walker premieres January 22, only on Stan.
Let me tell you about Fairy, from the world's #1 dish care company. For stuck on grease, just spray Fairy Easy Spray and grease melts away. For hand washing, Fairy dishwashing liquid lifts off tough grease before your eyes. And for your dishwasher, Fairy Platinum Plus beats Finish Quantum at cleaning stuck on food on the first wash. Try it like I did. Switch to Fairy, from the world's #1 dish care company.
Now this is a story all about how fast food got flipped, turned upside down. Took one huge bite of that foot-long bread and said, yo, skip the grease and eat fresh instead.
At Coles, you can lower the cost of your Aussie barbecues with delicious 100% Aussie Coles beef quick-cook porterhouse steaks or Coles brand beef and thyme burgers. Any 2 packs for just $12. Coles, value the Australian way.
Get more of what you need to lose weight with the new MyWW Plus app. It helps you see that exercise can be the best part of your day.
It really takes the thinking out of healthy eating.
More holistic, more personalised, more weight loss. Join now and get 3 months free.
What's it feel like to get 25% off the electricity reference price?
I think I'll have to check them out.
Find your energy saving today at alinterenergy.com.au.
This Sport Report brought to you by Alinta Energy. Get a great energy deal supporting your home team.
Welcome back. Australian cricket's biggest names continue to passionately defend Steve Smith over claims he cheated in the Sydney Test. Captain Tim Paine has tonight penned an open letter telling critics to get a grip. Earlier, coach Justin Langer vigorously defended Smith and gave Paine an unqualified support.
A series decider, Nathan Lyon's 100th Test. Headlines would be thick anyhow, but Steve Smith scuffed the SCG batting crease and Tim Paine overstepped as he sledged Ashwin.
Do you still have faith in Tim as the leader? And
a chuckle laced with sarcasm. When his skipper's under siege, Langer shoots, then asks questions.
Yeah, we've got to cut him some slack, surely. Outstanding leader. And will continue to be for some time to come yet. He has my 100% support.
And so does Smith.
I literally cannot believe some of the rubbish I read about Steve Smith.
They're singing from the same hymn book.
Playing under Tim Paine, bowling to Tim Paine is absolutely exceptional. I absolutely love him to death.
Lyon becomes Australia's 13th Test centurion, poised on 396 wickets. This controversy's stolen some of his glory.
I'm far from being done in my eyes. I'm still hungrier than ever. I want to go out there and play as much cricket as I can for Australia.
So do his brothers in arms, Stark, Cummins and Hazelwood, despite a combined 136 overs in Sydney.
They're brilliant athletes. They're very, very determined to win this series.
SCG debutant Will Pukovski, despite a partial shoulder dislocation, is desperate to be there for Lyon's special occasion.
We'll see how he pulls up today. We're really hopeful he'll get up. And if he doesn't, then the obvious thing would be that Marcus Harris would come in as the opener.
India trained today, hoping come Friday they have 11 fit players to start a series decider. Their remaining young quicks all auditioning with verve, keen to step into the large shoes vacated by an injured Jasprit Bumrah. Pat Welch, 7 News.
The Thunder and Sixers lock horns in Canberra tonight with top spot on the Big Bash table up for grabs. Last night the Scorchers picked up their 5th win on the trot, beating the Hurricanes by 9 wickets in Perth. English duo Jason Roy and Liam Livingstone shared a 123-run partnership as the Scorchers moved up to 3rd on the ladder.
That's a way to get it up, Flynn. Go big down the ground.
Mitch Marsh could miss Saturday's clash with the Sixers due to a side strain. The Sydney smash between the Thunder and Sixers begins straight after the news here on 7. After 9 years in Penrith, Josh Mansour has finally made his way back to Redfern. Told he was free to leave the Panthers after their grand final defeat, Mansour has signed a 2-year deal with his junior club Souths. The 30-year-old was frustrated at the way he was forced out of Penrith.
Just how it all happened so abruptly, especially after the grand final loss, it was hard to digest, you know, but at the end of the day, yeah, definitely no grudges, not bitter towards them at all.
Despite the Rabbitohs' strength on the wings, Mansour isn't returning to be a bench warmer.
I'm just going to go there and do whatever I can do to add to the team. Obviously, I want to be playing first-grade football. I want to be playing as much as I can.
Mansour faces stiff competition for a starting spot from Jackson Paulo and Alex Johnston. The 76ers were fined $32,000 by the NBA after Aussie star Ben Simmons tried to return to Philadelphia from New York without telling the team. Simmons was back on court today against Miami after missing the past 2 games with what the team said was a knee injury. Philly got home 137-134 in overtime. And LeBron James once again showed why he's called king, hitting this no-look 3-pointer in the Lakers' win over the Rockets. Toby Price's quest for a 3rd Dakar Rally win is over. The Australian was airlifted to hospital after breaking his collarbone in a crash on the 9th stage in Saudi Arabia. Price started the day 2nd overall in the motorbike category. And that, guys, is all the sport for now.
Good on you, Matt. Thank you for that.
Thanks, Shirley.
Well, COVID panic buying and having to scour different supermarkets for essentials could soon be over. New technology developed here in Australia connects shoppers with stores that have the items they need.
Bare shelves can turn into stock aplenty at your fingertips.
The essentials might be just around the corner, which they might not even know of.
Instead of the runaround from supermarkets to chemists, convenience stores and service stations, the Essentials Stalker system lets customers know where hard-to-find commodities are, especially during high-demand periods.
This system is pretty good, to be honest. It helps me save my time. I don't have to go store to store and look for my things.
As well as pinpointing stores, it allows shoppers to record in the system how much stock is available in different ranges, including food basics, based on your location.
It is linked to GPS. It helps you find what you need, like toilet paper, paper towels, face masks, hand sanitizers, medications, and feminine hygiene.
Retailers can also post their stock levels on essentials, so customers can see them in real time and go direct to that store.
It's a good idea to let the customer knows we have supply face mask and sanitizer.
The system is free for retailers and shoppers, but its usefulness is dependent on the number of people who go to the trouble of posting correct and up-to-date information on the availability of goods. For more information, go to our website. Helen Wellings, 7 News.
Now, Angie Asmus is back with the forecast, and Angie, the hot spell continues.
It does, Ange, although tomorrow we will see a vast difference in temperature between the east and west. Details next.
She's 7'2's fearless detective. Look out! Who doesn't play by the rules. Frankie Drake Mysteries, tonight on 7'2.
When you've got a lot on the boil, books pretty much get the chop. But Audible can help you fit them back into your life, even when you're cooking up a storm.
Bread, wine and books.
Audible! With over 400,000 audiobooks. Sorry. It's books that fit with real life. Or soz, that's me. You know what it's like. Oh, there's another one. And and another one. Download the Audible app to enjoy best-selling audiobooks and exclusive podcasts.
Introducing Light and Easy's new Jumpstart Plus. Jumpstart Plus combines the proven weight loss results of intermittent eating with Light and Easy's delicious summer menu, plus a new app to track your success and help you achieve your goals.
Light and Easy made it pretty easy for me to lose it. I didn't have to think about it. The weight just kept dropping off.
I was really surprised with the results that I got with Light and Easy, and they do come quickly.
Fast track your weight loss success in 2021 with Light and Easy's new Jumpstart Plus. Jump online today.
Duck Fresh Discs, now bursting with fragrance.
Well, it does smell quite nice.
Boom! Freshness explosion.
Look, with new odour neutralising technology, Fresh Discs don't just mask odours, they neutralise them. Fight stains and freshens, flush after flush.
Boom! Best smelling bathroom ever.
Look, it's not rocket science, it's duck science.
SC Johnson, a family company.
Now this is a story all about how fast food got flipped, turned upside down. And I'd like to take a minute, just sit right there. I'll tell you how to dish your fries and eat fresh everywhere. On burgers and fries, we were born and raised with the dirty birds having their greasier ways. I took one huge bite of that foot-long bread and said, yo, skip the grease and eat fresh instead.
Give your summer a twist with everyday rewards. This week, spend $10 on fresh fruit and veg in a single transaction and collect 5 times points on your total shop. Simply shop and scan your card at Woolworths. Boost online now. T's and C's apply.
Let's get to work. James Jacks, will you look at that?
I told you to pay attention to the road.
Clearly this wasn't my fault. Maybe not, but you've taken a wrong turn on this one. Your insurance policy is monstrous.
You know, if you had Budget Direct car insurance, you'd get a hire car while yours gets repaired. And you could save hundreds.
Are we there yet?
Not at fault. Get a hire car while yours gets repaired. Just give us the other driver's details. Budget Direct. Insurance solved.
Discover the art of simplicity at the King's Summer Sale. Save up to 50% on Australian design. So why buy ordinary furniture when you can come home to King? Sale ends soon.
Sydney Smash from the nation's capital, Bluey. It's going to be a beauty.
Yeah, it sure is. The Sydney Sixers are flying. Probably the most consistent team in the competition. And the Thunder up the top as well. Brendan Dockett packing their side. 4 wickets the other day, so good pace with him.
Good striking everywhere in this game. You cannot take your eyes away. Sydney Smash, that's next.
This weather report is brought to you by the King Summer Sale. Ends soon.
Tonight, 7 News headlines. Heavily armed police have surrounded a house in Surrey Hills after a home invasion.
A mutant strain of COVID is spreading through a Brisbane quarantine hotel.
Health chiefs are backing the AstraZeneca vaccine, now only 62% effective.
And dozens of Target stores will shut up shop to reopen as Kmart's. Now, here's Angie with Sydney's weather.
Thanks very much, Michael. Parts of our state are experiencing the first heat wave of the year with consecutive days above 40 degrees in some regional centres. For the CBD, it was a warm night. 20.9 degrees was the low. From there, we reached a top of 29.8 degrees. Most suburbs in the city managed tops in the 30s today. 32 is about the warmest. That was at Camden, Campbelltown and Penrith, while Terry Hills and Katoomba are a little bit cooler at 27. The reason is a massive hot air sweeping across inland New South Wales, while east to northeasterly winds continue to moderate temperatures on the coast. Tomorrow we will see a southerly change enter the metro region during the evening. That may fuel a little bit of instability with some late patchy showers. To the capitals, Brisbane will be mostly sunny tomorrow, top of 31. Another hot day ahead for Canberra, 34 degrees. Cooler conditions to reach Melbourne, partly cloudy and 23, top of 22 for Hobart with some showers easing. Adelaide will be partly cloudy, 23. Hot one for Perth again, though, 35 degrees. Back home, tomorrow will bring cooler conditions to those southern districts. After tops in the 40s this week, Griffith shouldn't exceed 34. A top of 35 degrees for Wagga Wagga tomorrow. A gusty top of 19 degrees for Thredbo. Most centres won't record any precipitation with the exception of Wollongong and Batemans Bay, where we could see a late shower. Closer in, Western Sydney will really feel the heat tomorrow. Penrith aiming for 37 degrees, 36 at Blacktown. Late southerly change will be gusty on the coast at Manly and Bondi, and maybe an afternoon shower in the mix as well. On the water, north-northeasterly winds will reach 30 knots, strongest in the evening. Those late southerlies will trigger wind warnings from the Macquarie coast down to the border. For the city, 19 tonight, top of 30 degrees tomorrow, all under partly cloudy skies. Ahead, temperatures in this hot spell peak tomorrow. Friday should be fairly warm and then beautiful for the weekend, guys.
OK, Angie, thank you for that. That is 7 News for this Wednesday. We'll have updates for you throughout the evening.
From all of the 7 News team, we hope you have a great night.